Welcome to Talking Funny Cars, and boy, I'm sure excited to be here with this guest today. He and I have a long history, and I've been dying to get him on the show, and I finally got him. Tim Wilkerson, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know, everyone knows Tim Wilkerson is a Nitro Funny Car driver, but I know that that's not where you started. So why don't we tell the world where you started?
Oh, Lord.
Yep.
Gas station business, really, but, born in Springfield, Illinois, went to a normal, regular old high school and ended up at a community college where I took some civil engineering classes and got an associate's in civil engineering and really thought that that's what I was going to do. And was just working at a gas station and figured out that I love cars, but I was a car nut my entire life, born in the greatest era in the world, where cars were cool. If you had a cool car, you had a cool girl. So anyway, I ended up in the gas station business somehow. Then worked my way up into drag racing, and so we weren't on the streets playing anymore. Just after that, it's all history.
Yeah. So from Central Illinois, your first race car, what was it, and where would you race at? Where'd you take it?
My true first race car, I worked for a guy named Jim Albright, and he had two 63 super stock Plymouths. Oh my God, they were cool. They were the coolest thing I ever seen. So, he had a friend that had a 68 Roadrunner, and I bought that, and that was my first real race car. And we had that for about 2 years, and then I got married, sold all that stuff, and then ended up with a 63 Plymouth was my next car, and just a bunch of bracket junk after that. But a lot of fun. And learning how to race and understanding the tree, and we had a little 8th Mile racetrack just an hour from home called Midstate Dragway. It's in Havana, Illinois.
Yeah, we both started there.
Yeah.
How about it?
Pretty cool little place.
You went from the Dora cars to the Altered, then to a top alcohol funny car.
Yeah. Well, right? I originally bought a new Jerry Haas Cutlass, and I was going to go.
I remember that one, all the colors on it,
I was going to go comp racing. Man, it was a beautiful, beautiful car.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
And I ended up looking at a motor, talking to Steve Schmidt, blah, 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 blah. And my friend Earl Datweiler, he says, you don't want to do comp. At that time, that was in the 80s, $30,000 motor, it's good for nothing in the next year. So he said, if you want to have something fun and you like to go fast, buy an alcohol funny car. And I thought, really? He said a dragster, but everybody knows I'm not a dragster guy. So anyhow,
I do know that.
I ended up with an alcohol funny car, and like you say, did that for 4 or 5 years, and we were at a division race and had a good car, won division championship a couple years in a row, and won a national event here and there, and I don't know, it struck me one day. I thought I'm not going to do anything in this alcohol car. I'm tired of this thing. So if we're going to go do this, even if we're only going to do 5 races a year, it'd be better than going to 15 and getting paid $150 to do this or $1,000 to do that. And my businessman mind hit, and I decided it was a fruitless venture for me. If I just wanted to be a sportsman racer, I didn't need to spend at that time $100,000 a year running an alcohol car. The hell with it. I could just run my super comp car and have fun. And didn't have to work on it so hard.
That's right.
Because man, alcohol cars were a lot of work.
They are.
We put screw chargers on them, and they became a lot of work. So I thought, well, if we're going to have 5 people going all the time, work all the time, hell with it. We're going to get a fuel car.
Nitro funny car racing.
Got really lucky, and Casey Spurlock was going out at that time, and he sold everything to me, so I had a turnkey race car that was a good car, and really didn't get too far away from my knowledge at that time. It was just mechanical stuff. I didn't know anything about a fuel ar, of course. I didn't know how to tune one. I was fooling myself if you think I did. But we had a great time with learning, and the whole crew learned at the same time. And then Ronnie Swearingen helped me. The second race we went to, we were number 2 qualifier. And I'll never forget, we got back from that run, and old Don Scoos was standing behind our trailer like this. I told my guys, I said, well, we just lost our crew chief, I guarantee you.
We're not getting help from him anymore.
Sure enough, Ronnie Swearingen came up and he goes, hey,
got to figure it out on your own now.
This guy's he's going to hire me. But I told him I was going to help you all year long. Well, we beat Scusa 3 times that year. And we were at Indy, and he said, hey, man, I can't help you anymore. I just can't help you anymore.
The next step, Tim, was something that I watched, and that was the involvement with Dick Levi. To me, that was the beginning of an absolute historic funny car career. Let's talk about it.
Word historic, that's pretty good. Well, you know, and I was sponsored by Napa, and this gentleman named John Costanzo actually was looking for a team, and Brad Anderson turned him on to me, and I drove for him for 2 years. He didn't want me to have my own car. He had to be the boss.
Yeah, purple Nitro funny
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
I remember.
So we did that for a couple of years, and he ran into some money problems, and I actually got canned as a driver. And they put Kristen Powell in the car, and she lasted the rest of the season, which was like Indy on, and he was out of money. So, and I think their goal was that having Kristen as a driver, that they would a better opportunity to get sponsorship.
I see.
That never occurred. Didn't happen. So I run into some people from Sioux City Truck and Trailer, and Bill Rush, nice guy, and him and Kevin Christensen got with me, and we bought a funny car together, and bought it from Whit Bazemore. In fact, that's when Whit Bazemore was going out. So I'm buying all this stuff from people dying, you know.
Yeah.
But he went out, and I bought all his junk, and we showed up at Indy willy-nilly. I mean, had no idea what we were doing.
Yep.
And it ended up running good because I was in the Big Bud Shootout.
Yep.
And ended up running good and having fun, and ended the season that year. And then at the end of that year, I got a phone call from my friend Dick Levi, and he actually had his business was a block away from me from one of my gas stations. And I'd known him for 20 years, and he says, I mean, how come I never get asked about sponsoring your car? And I said, well, I'm not begging for money. If this isn't something that we can do together, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So he came to the racetrack, and he watched us make a run. He stood right behind the car, and we put him in this vehicle and drove him down there, and he got out. I said, well, what do you think? You know, I'm all excited. He goes, you are one goofy SOB.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. Sign me up. And it happened to be we were right beside Dale Worsham, and Dale lost a tire, and he come in front of me. I mean, it was a sporadic, crazy run.
Yep.
But so that evolved through the years, and it worked out really well. He first couple of years we started out slow on the quarter panel, and in 02, I think, we went from running 10 races to 15, and then 03, I think we did 18, and then he decided he wanted to do the whole season. So that's how it kind of evolved. In 03, we won Indy. So
I remember that.
He thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
So, but
and then 03 was great for you, but really, when I look at your career, 2008 to me was no doubt highlight of your career, but also one of the best, single car team seasons ever. There's no question. I mean, that was absolutely incredible. You won races. You were this close to winning the championship.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it was. We worked really hard. In the 06, 07, had a really good car all those years, and changed some stuff over the winter of 07 and 08.
Yep.
Got hooked up with some good people that really helped me, and Don Perdome was one of them, believe it or not.
That's
NHRA,
cool.
Yeah, NHRA came to him and said, you can't have your big giant Skoll display and have one car. You're taking up too much real estate. So he called me and he said, hey, I want to partner up with you. And, we're just going to be a partner in sense to help NHRA stay off my rear. But you can have anything you want. You come to my shop. I have clutch dynos. I have blower dynos. So I used him up, man. I was over there whistling blowers across these dyno and running my clutch on these dyno and just learning, Man, it made me so smart over the winter. I just made me crazy smart. And I had a good group of guys working on the car, and we showed up running okay. We were fast all the time, and run our first race at Vegas, beat Ashley Force in the finals, and I'll never forget my old buddy Fred Mandolini. He was a real big, I guess, probably the smartest guy I've ever met in the way of, because he helped me with my alcohol card.
Sure, I remember that.
And he used to call me and say, how come you did this and how come you did that?
Yeah.
And I'd say, well, real easy sitting on your couch. Come and hang out with us. And so he come and hung out with us for a few races, and he said, you're right, this thing's way too hard. It's got too many knobs and whistles. So, but we were very fortunate to have a good season there. But as it rolled on, we'd win here and there, and I don't know. It was a pretty exciting time.
It was.
I was real happy with the way we evolved, and the car ran good, and we didn't tear things up. And man, you talking about getting teched and over teched. The NHRA, they wore me out in the pit area. I bet I had the rear end checked in my car 10 times.
Yeah.
No way your car runs that good. No, you know, 'cause we had Don Schumacher and John Force.
Oh yeah.
And God bless old Don Schumacher, but he was a thorn in my side.
Yeah.
I mean, he every time I'd run better than him, they'd be over there. Something had happened.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's right.
So it was a good time.
So that season, I mean, you know, was so big, but you know, what was the highlight of that season? If you could look back and say this is the one moment or the one race during that season, what was it?
Oh, I don't know. I think all of them were pretty special, but you know, St. Louis, hometown.
Oh yeah.
We #1 qualifier, run the table, beat Neff in the finals. You know, and that was probably the coolest day we could ever have because hometown of Dick Levi. You know, he had a big hospitality there.
Yep.
It was a great day.
And,
and then we went into the countdown at #1. I mean, we were so far ahead of everybody. We were like Proc is now. We were so far ahead of everybody that it was a given that you know they were going to have to beat me.
Yeah.
So first race we go to, we get beat in the first round. I'm like, God darn it. So I went from first to third and instantly. And then 2 races later, I won them back to back.
Yep.
So now I'm back in first place again and having fun. But I don't know. You know, we have a 24-hour rule. I get over it 24 hours later. Win, lose, or draw, I
move on.
Got to start over, right? You got to start over. So
it's part of it.
It was a pretty exciting season. You're right about that. Even though Robert Hyatt, we were at the banquet, and he goes, you know, they're handing Cruz the trophy, but you won that. I said, that's the way it goes, you know, because we redlit in the finals at Pomona, and Coyle actually, we weren't. 2 minutes off the run that Force and I both redlit at the same time. I had 026 red, he had 024 red.
Yeah.
And Coyle called me and he goes, "No way, we're going to the tower right now." I said, well, they're not going to do anything about it. He goes, "There's no way both of you guys did that. I don't know if there's some lights bounced across there, or I have no idea. But that's impossible. Force ain't that good. You ain't that good.
Yep.
No way." He said, "I watched it 100 times. There's no way. We got to go to the tower." Well, about that time, Robert Hite was running. It was me and Robert and Cruz. Robert got beat. Hell, they were putting the crown on Cruz's head.
Yep.
I said, "Well, they done crowned the king, man. We're done." He goes, "Nope, we're going." We never went. But,
Coyle.
Coyle, I thought that was cool of Coyle.
That's cool.
He said, "There's no way."
Straight up drag racer.
Yeah. How many races he'd seen?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Thousands. Yeah.
You know, you mentioned the banquet. When you got your trophy or your award for #2, what happened in the crowd?
Oh, that's kind of a neat day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a big ovation. So
the crowd, they thought
the crowd knew.
They knew you won.
Yeah, the crowd knew. I mean,
you know,
we got everything but the check.
And that being said, you know, I've talked to other drivers about that year.
Yeah.
And I've talked to not Cruz about it, but I think everyone really. I think like they wanted you to win.
Of course.
I think almost like Cruz wanted you to win.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone wanted you to win.
No, we needed to have Tobler kidnapped, and we would have been okay.
Yeah.
You know, he definitely turned that season around for Cruz at the last 5 or 6 races there. But no, it would have been a great Cinderella story, right?
Yeah.
It
would have been
a guy that's beaten 2 and 3 car teams every day, like it's nothing. And we had a good car, and we were just one step ahead of them. And that's all it was. And that was just, like I said, it was help from guys like Snake and there's other people that I'm not going to mention that really did me a lot of good in the way that I look at how those cars run. But and I've told people this for years that season plus everything I do is a credit to every crew chief out there.
Sure.
Because just like you just mentioned, every crew chief out there likes an underdog.
Tim, it's truly a family affair, right? You know, everyone knows about you and Daniel, but it's your wife, it's Kevin, and your daughter. Even your daughter is always cheering for you guys. So let's talk about that.
No, we were so fortunate. You know, the kids went with us all the time, and we never realize how much you travel with your kids until you do it. And Kevin got involved when he got old enough to help, and and he was with us that whole 8 season. Man, he was spectacular. I mean, he was
cylinder head.
So good at taking that stuff on and off.
Yeah, I remember
making us look good. And and Rachel, we used to call her a good luck charm because you know she was still in school, and whenever she would come, we'd win. It's like golly, bring her all the time. But no, it's you know, drag racing, NHRA drag racing, period, is a family thing. We all know that. You know, you see all the different families out there, and we are very fortunate, and Dick Levi made that happen, right? There's no doubt about it. He was adamant that if Krista wanted to go and Daniel wanted to go and Kevin wanted to go, that they needed to go. So anyway.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And that evolved into what I would consider a unique and special relationship with Daniel. Daniel always loved what his dad was doing.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Coolest thing in the world. My dad drives an NHRA funny car, so that's what I want to do. We know Daniel's an accountant, but he's not. He's a race car everything, right? He's a crew chief, mechanic, a driver. He's very talented.
Yeah, and we were when he turned 16. The day he turned 16, April 2nd, we went to St. Louis. We had a little big block Chevrolet powered altered.
Yep.
And he made 8 runs. And the last run he went 860 at Sinal. Got his super comp license, right? My wife was petrified.
Yep.
So she was like, "Oh my God, ruining one of my kids," right?
Yep.
So, but she knew better, and so we went bracket racing for a whole year and learned how to, again, all the techniques of racing. And
sure.
And when he turned, he's 18. Him and Fred Mandolini, the guy I talk about all the time.
Yep.
We bought an alcohol funny car, and they went alcohol funny car racing by themselves. I mean, they were like a damn married couple. It was, I got plenty of married couple stories to tell you. One of them, they got in a big argument, and Daniel called me and said, "Fred, put me in a trash can." And
really did.
Daniel said his knees were right up next to his nose. He couldn't get out. He said he had to tip the trash can over just to get out of the damn trash can.
I love it.
So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, they won the Division III championship, and it was a damned old Pat Austin car. It was the biggest pile of junk you ever seen. I bought it from a guy, and it wasn't a pile of junk because it was Pat Austin's. It was just old.
Yeah, just worn out. Yeah, used up.
It was 10 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
And but we had a great time with that. We bolted a piece of wood on the gas pedal just so Daniel could reach the gas pedal because Pat, big guy.
Yeah.
He's bigger than you.
He's a big dude.
Great big dude, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So we had a great time with that, and then they again, I let them do that by themselves. I made Daniel work on the car. They never left the house until it was ready to race.
Yep.
And went 2 years, did a great job, bought a brand new chassis, and then decided we're done with alcohol racing.
Yeah.
Again, it's getting in deeper than I want to do.
Sure, yeah.
It's the financial part of this is ridiculous. We thought we could get a sponsor by then, and Dick Levi helped us a couple times to go alcohol racing.
Yep.
And he said, I'm going to go fuel racing. So that's what we did. So we sold all that. We'd put Daniel in the car and took him to an NHRA race in Michigan. I don't remember if it was Martin or Milan, to tell you the truth.
Yep.
And we were #1 qualifier there, of course. This was in 08 too.
Yeah.
My guys.
Same car, your car.
My guys were pissed.
Don't screw this car up, kid.
They were like,
yeah.
Well, you can't give that car to an 18-year-old kid. But he did a great job. We got a license in Joliet, and the next week, Bader called me because Cruz bailed out of the Night Under Fire, and he didn't have a guy to run the Night Under Fire. And he said, "Could Daniel just come out there and make a run? Just do a burnout. I don't care." I said, "Sure." Yeah. Well, we get out there, and the track's spectacular, right? Because Bader, he tunes that baby up.
Oh, yeah,
for the
it's always
Night Under
great.
Fire.
Yeah.
And I told Dan, I said, "Well, this thing's going to shake if I don't tune it up. You be okay?" "Oh, yeah." Well, he's #2 qualifier, and Ashley Force is #1 qualifier. So they're supposed to race each other, right, in the finals. And old Force comes up to me, "Wilkie, I'm not trying to say anything bad about your kid, but you won't care if I race your kid and you race mine, do you?" "How many runs has your kid got?" I said, 3. You just seen one of them.
Yeah.
"Oh my God, my wife will die."
Because of Ashley.
Yeah,
right,
please, we can't do it. It was really entertaining. So we got a picture of John and Daniel side by side, fire over the roof at night at Norwalk.
Killer.
Still on Daniel's house.
Isn't that cool?
In his room. Yeah. So we were very
And it ran
lucky.
good that night.
Oh yeah.
Didn't he run good?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Say we were fast, and that was only a quarter mile, so we was 80. I think he went 81 or 82, and actually he went 80 or 81.
Isn't that cool?
So we had a great time with that. But Daniel's evolved over the years, and I did that on purpose, of course, because I want him to look out the windshield of a funny car. If we're going to make a funny car driver out of him, I want him to look out the windshield of a funny car.
That's right.
Because funny car driving is a lot harder than people think, and
it is. It's not easy.
You can attest to that.
Yeah.
So
they're animals. There's no question.
Yeah.
And then Daniel just evolved. So he started as a driver. He wanted to be a driver like his dad, and obviously you're a crew chief too. And I think along the way he was always mechanicking, right? He was always working on the cars, but then you started to train Daniel on understanding how the car works, right? And he became in my opinion, a great crew chief. An incredible crew chief.
That worked out really well for us. I mean, he still had to have a job. I'm not wealthy enough that he could just come diddle at my shop and pay him enough to be a parent and a husband, right?
Yep.
I mean, so he was still working in as an accountant.
Yep.
And on the side, he would come and we'd go a few races a year, and he'd help and watch. And then when Brian Stewart decided he needed to go racing, we did that because Brian only wanted to go to 5 or 6 races a year. Then we evolved. Blake Alexander wanted to go to 6 or 8 races a year, and
Yep.
Daniel would fly in and do that. But all that time he was learning and teaching, and then Chad decided he was just going to go to a few races. Well, then Chad immediately turned from 10 to 12 to 15 to 18 all in 1 year.
Yeah, full time.
And he was wearing us out. So I said, Chad, you got to, we can't do this that much.
Yeah.
You got to take your pick.
Yeah.
Figure out what you're going to do. So then he decided we're going to go to a full year next year. So then Daniel quit his accounting job.
Yep.
And the rest is history. So
yeah, and they won.
Yeah, they did good.
They did a great job together.
Yeah, the scumbags beat me in the finals at Pomona.
Yeah. How about it, right?
Yeah, guessing green, I called him.
I do remember that.
Chad and I were team cars.
Yeah.
I could tell you within 100th of a second what Chad's car was going to run every minute made.
Yep.
Guarantee you.
Yep.
And I knew in the finals they were going to make a good run.
Yep.
So, but
you've had not just a great career as a driver owner, but you've also had an incredible career, in my opinion, as a mentor for a lot of people. So the first one that I can remember is TJ Zizzo, right? I remember that when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
I remember you helping TJ get started. So let's talk about all those people.
Well, we start with TJ. I bought this dragster thinking that I would run it, right? I mean, again, I'm make a business out of drag racing, and I went to Mr. Levi and I said, hey, why don't we do this? And he thought, yeah, that might be cool, And so I had him sit in it one time. We warmed it up. He wanted nothing to do with it because I thought maybe he might want to drive it.
Yeah.
Maybe I could coax my sponsor into it.
Get him in there.
Yeah, get that needle stuck in him.
That's right.
So
That's
the
right.
same one I can't get out of
That's
my
right.
arm now. But he is he wasn't into it. So I thought, well, and Zizzo running alcohol dragster, and he's sick of out running alcohol also.
Yep.
So he bought this from me, and we took him up to Chicago and made about 5 or 6 runs one day and got him a license, and gosh, we just had a good time with it.
Yeah.
So and from then on, I kind of got known as the guy that would help get a license. Del Worsham still does that stuff, and
sure.
God bless Del. Him and I figured out how to make a little business out of doing that. And,
that's right.
Matt Hagan came to me. He was at a pro mod car, and he made some runs down through we were at Vegas in the fall, and he made some runs down through there, and he was awful. And he got out of the car. He was so excited. He come up, being Matt Hagan, grabbed me. What do you think? I said, if you ever do that again, I will kick your ass. I can't believe
that's great.
You're the dumbest shit I've ever seen. He goes, what? I said, that was terrible.
Yeah.
I said, you're going to go run NHRA. You'll get killed over there.
Yep.
You can't drive like this.
Yeah.
This is an NHRA prep track. It's spectacular. Yep. You can drive guardrail to the center line, and you can't do that at them.
That's right.
Some of them NHRA tracks are not that nice.
Yep.
Well, I thought you were going to tell me I did a good job. I said, no, you suck, man. You're awful. And now he kicks everybody's ass like they're stepchildren.
Yeah, no question. He's one of the best out there.
He's a good dude, but he'll tell you that same story that him and I butted heads pretty hard there. But
I love it.
And then through the years, try to help other people.
Sure.
Got Chad his license and
Chad Green. Yep.
Yeah, got a few different people.
Hunter Green. Don't forget about Hunter.
Hunter. Yeah, got him a license in a dragster.
That's right.
And help Blake get a license, and then
Blake Alexander.
Also, just little things like that, and kind of like to help the guys that are struggling. Bob Bodie, he's been my friend a long time. We were at Indy one time, and he just couldn't make his car run.
Yeah.
And I got tired of watching. I just pulled the motor out of my trailer and drug it down there.
Yeah.
So you're going to put this in, put this head gasket on it, put that clutch setup on it. He whistled right down through there. Bought a car from me that winter.
Yeah.
So because
I remember
he just had an old car and it just wouldn't work well. You know. But anyway, it's just been a passion of mine to make sure that, in my opinion, it helps the sport.
Yeah.
I don't want to run beside somebody that's going to oil the track all the time. I don't run beside somebody that's going to run over me. And anytime we can help the sport, it's a good.
It's right. I mean, Tim helped me. Tim helped me and get my top fuel organization going, and got me on the right path. So I'm absolutely one of those people he's helped, and I know that I've spoken to all those people.
Yeah.
And they're all very thankful.
Well,
that's the thing.
Yeah, and I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for glory.
Yeah.
You know that. I enjoy watching the evolution of the sport and the people.
Yeah.
I love the people. These people are my family.
That's what it's about, right?
Yeah, all these people are my family.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, when you think about a weekend off at the racetrack, and well, let me just back up. How can you retire from this?
Well,
There's a reason why Connie Coletta and Jim Dunn and all these guys, they keep coming because what do you do?
I don't want to get emotional, but I feel that way every day.
Yeah.
When I watch John Force on the start line, and I want to cry.
Yeah.
Because you can see it in John Force's eyes.
Yeah, he still wants to drive.
Oh, he's miserable.
I know.
And maybe I'm talking out of school, but John's been my friend a long time, and I know how I would feel if I was John, being kicked out of the chair.
Yeah. Before you're ready.
Yeah, before you're ready. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't feel that way because I was lucky enough that Scag came on and sponsored our car, and it all worked out well. That they wanted somebody that was a liaison.
Sure.
They could come to and go, hey, I wanted you to go talk to these dealers or sign. And I can't do that. I can't be the owner, I can't be the driver, and I can't be the crew chief all at the same time and still be the guy that can sign autographs.
That's right.
So that's how that evolved. That was obviously just a quick decision on their part.
Yeah. It worked out perfect.
Oh, yeah. So now we got Dan in the car.
That's right. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
So first question, your favorite funny car of all time. And it don't got to be one of yours. It could be any funny car of all time, your favorite.
My 21 Ford Mustang.
21. How come that one?
Won the U.S. Nationals.
That's fair. I remember that. That was a celebration.
Wasn't supposed to be there.
Yep. I remember that. So your favorite racetrack to race your funny car on?
Oh, I really don't have an exact favorite, but I would say Pomona since it has all that history.
Yeah, it's cool there. And your favorite funny car driver? You can say yourself if you want.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I would say Prudhomme.
Don Prudhomme.
Yeah, because that was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
He's an old guy, so I was watching him race a long time.
Yeah. Legendary status, great driver, great owner.
Yeah.
And at one point a great tuner, right?
Yeah.
Tim, your favorite race of all time. And that could be you in the seat, or you standing behind the car, or you sitting maybe at the television when you're a child. But that one race that you remember and say, that's my favorite funny car race of all time.
Boy, I'd almost just have to say anytime I won. But, I don't remember what year it was, but in Houston, we ran the table. We were the fastest car every run. And when you're the fastest car every run, you remember that.
Yeah, it's bad boy stuff. Yep. And describe what it's like to drive your funny car in 15 seconds.
Wow.
That's hard to do, right?
Everybody asked me about driving a fuel car instead of an alcohol car. And I used to tell everybody, driving an alcohol car is like wrestling your girlfriend. And driving a fuel car is like wrestling an alligator.
That's right.
I would say that's the difference right there.
There you go.
That thing is so cool and so violent.
Yeah.
But it all calms down and slows down. But I'd say that's the difference. Wrestling an alligator.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, driving, tuning, family man, wrestling alligators. That was our friend Tim Wilkerson. Tim, thanks for being here. There you go. There he is, showing it off right there.
Thank you,
Tim,
partner.
thank you so much. Stay tuned for future episodes right here on Talkin' Funny Cars with Buddy Hull.